Namaste. Welcome to the Advaita channel. I'm Amba, and I'm very grateful to be here. So I'm not exactly sure why I'm here. But I am here, and I had to find like a reason to be here because I didn't know what it was. So I think the reason is that I'm going to read the Ashtavakra Gita. But you never know what will happen. So I'm just going to start at the start. I think I have read some Ashtavakra Gita before, and I just opened it randomly or something like this. But I'm going to start at the start. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, maybe someone else on the Advaita channel might be reading the Ashtavakra Gita. But I'm sure it's okay to have to. Okay, so I'm going to read just what it says inside the front cover. It's like an introduction to the Ashtavakra Gita. This Gita is little known in the West, but it expresses the highest truths and embodies the philosophic thought of the sages Ashtavakra, Yajnavalkya, and Vamadeva. It does not give an exposition of the truth by logical reasoning, but a description of the knowledge and bliss experienced by an illumined sage. Each verse is a text for meditation. The whole work has a magic of its own, which elevates and exalts the mind, and grants glimpses of the transcendental region. It is by feeling and by saturating the mind in the great ideal so lyrically expressed in this poem that a man attains an intuitive vision of the truth. I'm going to start now. Okay. Namaste, Soham. Can you hear me, Soham?
Yes.
Yes,
It's fun. I'm trying to get myself sorted here. Sorry.
I see.
Better.
I'm very happy to see you, and I'm very grateful that you could join me. Thank you.
Oh, good to be here. It's so nice to be able to do this.
It's very nice, isn't it? I'm going to read some Ashtavakra Gita.
Cool.
Do you know this book?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to read the introduction first because I just decided to start from the beginning. And I think somebody else might be reading some Ashtavakra Gita, are they? On the Advaita channel?
I think so.
Yeah, but I think it's okay because I don't have any other books to read.
Good to me.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I'll probably stop every now and again and look at you because I don't know, I like looking at you.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see
It's good to see
you. Okay.
you.
How did your meeting go yesterday, Soham? Okay?
Oh yeah, it's all right.
Good. Okay.
They were nice to me.
Hmm?
They were nice to me.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, introduction. The word Gita means a song. There are many Gitas, of which some of the most beautiful appear in the classics, Yoga Vasishta and Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavad Gita, which is incorporated in the Mahabharata, is held by the great rishis to be unsurpassed. The Ashtavakra Gita, less well known in the West, expresses the highest teachings of the Upanishads, and embodies the philosophic thought of the sages Yajnavalkya and Varmadeva. It does not give an exposition of the truth by logical reasoning, but a description of the bliss experienced by an illumined saint. Those who have not understood the essence of Vedanta and are still practicing the discipline of self-purification will probably not fully appreciate this work. But for the advanced student, the spiritual truth is here revealed in a simple, uncompromising form. Each verse is a text for meditation. The whole work has a magic of its own, which elevates and exalts the mind and grants glimpses of the transcendental region. The particular school of Advaita Vedanta propounded in this Gita is called Ajatavada. This is the theory that the universe was never created in the Absolute. It is the most metaphysical explanation of the world, God and the Absolute. It is by feeling and by saturating the mind in the great ideas so lyrically expressed in this poem that an aspirant attains an intuitive vision of the truth. This is the sure path to release. The translator found this Gita a favorite text among the Mahatmas of the Himalayan regions. So I'm just going to read it, and I'm probably not going to explain anything unless that just happens by itself. But I've often found with reading these texts that I don't try to understand them. So just allow myself to hear the words, and if I'm meant to understand, then I'll understand, and if I'm not meant to understand, then I'm not meant to understand. And that's always been very good for me, because it just kind of leaves your mind out of the equation, and you can just kind of relax and allow the words to go into your heart. So if you don't understand a word or a meaning of a word, just forget about it. It doesn't matter. You're not meant to understand it right now. That's how I go, and it's always been good for me. And if I'm reading too fast, and you'd like me to slow down, you can let me know. So you can just unmute your mic and tell me. Or if you want me to repeat something or anything, that's fine as well. Okay. So there's a few notes underneath the text that describes some of the words. So some of them I might read, and some of them I might not read.
Okay.
I think it's fine for you to leave your microphone on if you want. Oh no, actually, it's okay.
Yeah, I thought I'd turn it off because sometimes people come in here and loud talk.
Yeah.
I never know who's going to walk in.
Yeah. Okay. I think you need to mute your microphone, because there's two voices. My voice is there.
Sorry, say again?
And when I speak, my voice is coming out again from yours, so it's echoing. So you need to make your
Yeah, okay. I'll turn it off then.
Yeah. Thank you. Janaka said, O Lord, tell me this. How does a man acquire knowledge of truth, and how liberation, and how the practice of renunciation? Ashtavakra said, O friend, if thy aim in life is liberation, then shun sense objects as poison, and pursue as nectar forgiveness, simplicity of life, compassion, contentment, and truth. Thou art neither earth, water, fire, air, nor ether. Know thyself as witness of all these, and different from them, if thou wouldst attain liberation. If, detaching thyself from thy sense of identity with the body, thou remain at rest in intelligence, thine will be spontaneous bliss, eternal peace, and liberation from the imagined bondage. Thou, as Atman, art not of the Brahman or other castes. Neither dost thou belong to any of the 4 stages of life. Thou art not an object of sense perception. Thou art the witness alone, unattached by nature and without form. Be blissful. O all-pervading reality, virtue and vice, pleasure and pain are modes of the mind, and thyself is independent of them. Thou art neither the doer nor the enjoyer. Ever free art thou. Thou art the one subject of all, and in fact ever free. The cause of thy imagined bondage is that thou attributest subjectivity to objects rather than to the self. Egoism in the form of I am the doer resembles a great black and poisonous serpent. The antidote to its poison is recognition of the fact I am not the doer. This knowledge leads to happiness. The dark forest of ignorance of the nature of self is the cause of grief, and should be consumed by the conviction I am the one ever pure consciousness. Thou art that consciousness, the supreme bliss, in which the world appears as an imagined object, like a snake in a rope. Be happy, that thou art. He who thinks himself to be free is free, and he who thinks himself to be bound is bound. True is the saying, as a man thinks, so he becomes. The self is the witness, all-pervading, perfect, free, one, consciousness, actionless, not attached to any object, desireless, ever tranquil. It appears through illusion as the world. Always contemplate the ever-fixed intelligence, the non-dual Atman. Giving up all inner and outer identification of the self with the not-self, abandon the notion of the individualized self. Namaste, Janie. O child, the net of self-identification with the body has held thee imprisoned long enough. With the sword of the knowledge, I am intelligence. Cut this illusion and be blissful. Thou art wholly independent, actionless, self-luminous, and without fault. Thy bondage is that thou deemest thyself to be liberated through the practice of samadhi. The universe is pervaded by thee, and exists in thee. Verily, by nature, thou art consciousness absolute. Do not harbour narrowness of heart, and think thyself to be otherwise. Free art thou from modifications, independent, calm, without dimension or form, imperturbable, thy nature unimaginable intelligence. Know thyself to be pure consciousness. Know all that has form to be unreal, and the formless to be the self. By means of this knowledge, thou shalt avoid the possibility of rebirth. Within and without the form reflected in the mirror exists the mirror. Likewise, the Supreme Lord exists within and without the body. As the jar is pervaded inside and outside by the same ether, so does the all-pervasive reality, Brahman, abide in all things. Just going to have a little rest for a second. It's so beautiful. I like to read these types of texts where like they're not trying to convince you of anything, they're just kind of stating a fact. I like it. I can't see you, Janie, but it looks like you're here. So welcome. And you're both welcome to speak anytime you like as well, if you want to, if you have anything to say. I feel it's good to have a pause in between each chapter because it kind of says so much. It's good to just let it sink in. Okay. I want to read this line again, okay, just because right now in these moments it's very impactful, if that's a word. And just this part at the end. So this. Within and without the form reflected in the mirror exists the mirror. Likewise, the Supreme Lord exists within and without the body. As the jar is pervaded inside and outside by the same ether, so does the all-pervasive reality abide in all things. Okay, will I read the next chapter as well?
Sorry?
Will I continue and read the next chapter?
Yeah.
Okay. Janaka said, "How wonderful! I am tranquil, taintless, pure knowledge, transcending matter. Until now I have been deceived by illusion. As I, by my light, reveal this body, so do I reveal the whole universe. To me it belongs, or it is not." And then underneath it says, "The dream either belongs to the dreamer, or it is nothing." Through renunciation of this great universe, together with the body, I now perceive the Supreme Self by the skill of my yoga. As waves, foam and bubbles are not different from water, so in the light of true knowledge, the universe, born of the Self, is not different from the Self. As a piece of cloth is found on reflection not to be different from its threads, so this universe, on reflection, is found not to be different from the Self. As the juice of sugar cane wholly pervades the sugar produced from it, so the universe, produced phenomenally in me, is pervaded by myself. The world appears as a result of ignorance of the nature of the Self, and it disappears when the nature of the Self is recognized. The illusory snake is born of the absence of knowledge of the rope, and it disappears when knowledge of the rope is attained. My nature is knowledge, and nothing other than knowledge. Verily, the universe is revealed under the light of myself. How strange that the world has appearance in me due to nescience, like the illusory silver in the mother of pearl, the snake in the rope, and the mirage in the rays of the sun. From me the world is born. In me it exists. In me it dissolves. As jars return to clay, waves to water, and bracelets to gold. Wonderful am I. My salutations to myself. I am beyond the range of decay. When the whole world, from Brahma to a blade of grass, is destroyed, I still remain. Wonderful am I. In spite of the body and its properties, I am one. I go nowhere. I come from nowhere. I abide in myself, pervading the whole universe. All praise be to me. I am most skillful. I, without a form, uphold the universe through all eternity. I am wonderful. Adoration to myself. I own nothing, and yet all that is thought or spoken of is mine. In reality, knowledge, the knowable, and the knower do not exist in me. That faultless self am I, by whose want of knowledge the three appear to exist. The conception of duality is the root of all suffering. Its only cure is the perception of the unreality of all objects and the realization of myself as one pure intelligence and bliss. I am pure intelligence. Through ignorance, I have imagined the illusory conditions in myself. Meditating thus all the time, I am the Absolute. I am neither bound nor free. My illusion has ended. The world, though appearing to exist in me, has in reality no existence. My conviction is that the universe and the body have no reality. The self is naught but intelligence. How can the world be imagined in it? I am the self, and my nature is pure consciousness. The body, heaven, hell, bondage, freedom, and fear are merely imagined, and I have no relationship with them. I see no duality. Why should I become attached to a multitude of human beings who resemble a wilderness to me? Namaste, Ananta, and Namaste, Pekka Tapani, and Namaste again, Janie, and Namaste again, Soham. I am the self, and my nature is pure consciousness. The body, heaven, hell, bondage, freedom, and fear are merely imagined, and I have no relationship with them. I see no duality. Why should I become attached to a multitude of human beings who resemble a wilderness to me? I am not the body, and the body does not belong to me. I am pure intelligence. My only bondage was my desire to continue to live as a cognitive entity. I have to have a little break for a second. I am the limitless ocean, in which, on the rising of the wind of the mind, the worlds are produced as waves on the sea. When the wind of the mind has died away in the ocean of my being, then the ship of the universe perishes, together with its trader, the Jiva. How strange that in me, the limitless ocean, the individualized selves, arise as waves. They cross each other, play for a while, and disappear according to their respective natures. Yeah, they're on the windowsill over there. Sorry. Do you want to say hello? So that's the end of chapter 2. So I think we'll just have a little break for a second. I haven't read the Ashtavakra Gita in a while, but every now and again I just pick it up and read it again. And it seems like every time it's new again. And this time it was very beautiful. And I'm very glad to be able to share it here with you.
Okay now?
Yes. Oh, it echoes a bit when we speak to each other, but it's okay.
That's it. I turned it back off.
So you'll have to forgive me. I don't know, somehow when I sometimes hear like words like this, it's like, I don't know, it's like it's coming from my heart and gone to my heart as well at the same time. Okay. Okay, so chapter 3. Actually, I'm just going to get a tissue because I need them. Hold on, I'll just be a second. I don't know why I have earphones in my ears. Oh, thanks, Soham. Okay, chapter 3. And Pekka, Tapani, and Ananta, if you want to join the Hangout call, you're welcome to, and the link is just underneath the video. Or if you're happy to watch from YouTube, that's fine. It's the same. Okay. So, chapter 3. Ashtavakra said, knowing the self to be indestructible and one by nature, how is it that thou, having attained wisdom, art still concerned with the acquisition of wealth? A craving for the objects of the senses rises out of the illusion caused by ignorance of the real nature of the self, just as the illusion of silver in the mother of pearl causes an attachment for it. Why should one who knows his self to be that, in which universes rise and fall like waves in the sea, run hither and thither like a suffering creature? Having heard that his self is pure consciousness, and of surpassing attraction, why is he still attached to lust, which gives rise to increased body consciousness. How strange that the sage, who knows all beings to be in the self, and the self to be in all beings, should still continue to harbour the sense of possession. It is strange that one who is established in the great truth of non-duality and is desirous of liberation should allow himself to be weakened by the practice of amorous pastimes. Lust is radically opposed to knowledge. How strange that one who is physically enfeebled and has reached the end of his life is still eager for sensual enjoyment. How strange that he who is indifferent to the objects of this world and the next, who discriminates between the eternal and the passing, and who yearns for emancipation, should still fear the loss of individuality occasioned by release. The wise man who is serene within ever perceives the absolute self, and is neither pleased nor angry when abused and tormented. The Mahatma regards the actions of his body not as different from those of another body, whether praised or blamed. He abides in the self, undisturbed. He who has realized the universe as mere phenomenon, and has lost all real interest therein, does not fear the approach of death. He whose mind is desireless even in disappointment, and who is fully satisfied with the knowledge of the self, he is verily incomparable. Knowing the objects of perception to be naught by nature, that steady-minded one neither accepts this nor rejects that. Having given up all attachment to external objects and transcended the influence of the pairs of opposites, the sage, free from desire, does not feel pleasure or pain in anything he experiences. That's the end of chapter 3. So the chapters are very short, so we're just having a little pause after each chapter. And also, like I said at the beginning, but you might have missed the beginning, I don't know. If you don't understand any of it or anything, the way I have always read texts is that I don't try to understand. So just if you're meant to understand, then you'll understand. And if you're not meant to understand, then you won't understand. So it's just like a way of maybe like leaving your mind out of it and just allow the words to go into your heart and go to where they're meant to go. Okay, chapter 4. Ashtavakra said, "The wise man who has known the truth about the self plays the game of life, and there is no similarity between his way of living and the deluded who live in the world as mere beasts of burden. The Gnani does not feel elated even in the supreme state which Indra and all other gods ardently desire and suffer through not obtaining. The knower of truth is not affected by vice and virtue, as the sky is not really affected by the smoke with which it is covered, though it appears to be. The knower of truth, the great souled one, who has known the universe to be nothing but his own self, lives as he pleases. Of the 4 kinds of created beings from Brahma to a tuft of grass, The wise alone, renouncing desire and aversion, know all to be Brahman. Indeed, how rare is the great-souled one who has realized the Self to be the One without a second, and also the personal God. He does what he considers to be worth doing. He is without any fear whatsoever. Hmm. Okay, chapter 5. Ashtavakra said, Thou hast no association with anything. Pure art thou. What is there to renounce? Destroy the identity with the body and the mind, and enter into the state of the noumenon. As bubbles arise in the ocean, so does the universe arise in the Self. Thus, knowing the Self to be all, enter into the state of the noumenon. Though the universe is perceptible by the senses, yet it has no factual existence, like the snake in the rope. Therefore, enter into the state of the noumenon. Be equable in pleasure and in pain, in hope and despair, in life and in death. Thus enter into the state of noumenon. Chapter 6. Ashtavakra said, I am infinite like space. The phenomenal world is like a jar. This is true cognition. The world has neither to be renounced, accepted, nor negated. I am like the ocean, in which the worlds are the waves. This is true knowledge, and renunciation. Achievement or negation have no place in it. I am like mother of pearl, and the imagined world is like the illusory silver in it. This is true knowledge, which does not admit of renunciation, achievement, or negation. I am in all beings, and all beings abide in me. This is true knowledge, which does not admit of renunciation, achievement, or negation. I'm getting confused with the with the number of the chapter because they're not written in numbers; they're written in Roman numeral. So I have to remember what chapter was before now. That's not going to keep working. It's chapter VII. I think it's 7. It's going to start getting complicated though. I'm just going to say chapter VII, okay? That makes it easier. Okay, chapter VII. Janaka said, In me, who am like an infinite sea, the boat of the world is driven here and there by wind of its own nature. I remain unaffected. I am the boundless sea. Let the waves of the world rise and fall in it. I am neither increased nor diminished thereby. In me, the infinite ocean, arises the imagined universe. Tranquil and attributeless, myself abides forever. The infinite and ever-pure Atman is not in the object, nor is the object in it. Free from attachment and desire, ever tranquil, in this truth I abide. Indeed, I am consciousness absolute, and the world is a magic show. The thought of acceptance and rejection does not exist in me. It reminds me of the other day, I think I said it to Ananta in Satsang, maybe not the whole story, but something was, I don't know, like maybe there was some emotion or something, or feeling, I can't remember. But like the thought came, oh, you have to allow this, okay, you have to allow it. But then like I was like, okay, allow it, well, how, if I can allow it, then I can also resist it. It was like a little game I was playing. So then I sat down and I said, okay, so I'm going to try and see if it's possible to resist. It was kind of just like the opposite, because I didn't really believe that I needed to allow it, so it was like a test to see. So I sat down and tried to see if I could resist this feeling that was happening. And actually, I couldn't resist. Like there's no way of resisting anything that comes, really. So there's not even any really need to allow or to resist, because whatever is, it just is anyway. But then I thought, well, like, but people are always speaking about like resistance and this and that. So what must resistance be? So like I just came to the conclusion that resistance can only be like belief in a thought. That's the only thing that it could possibly be, because you actually just can't resist. You can't resist what is, and you can't resist what appears. You have no conscious choice about what appears, and you can't make it go away, because if you could, I'm sure everyone would make everything go away. um, so the only thing really is to imagine something that's not true, and the only way you can imagine is to believe in the thought. So that's my conclusion. But it reminds me of this. It says, the thought of acceptance and rejection does not exist in me. So the thought might exist, but that doesn't mean that you have to believe it. So there could be a thought of acceptance and there could be a thought of rejection, but both of them are like irrelevant. So chapter VIII. Ashtavakra said, it is bondage when the mind desires anything, when it grieves over anything, when it accepts, rejects, or feels joy or anger in relation to anything whatsoever. It is release when the mind... Hold on for a second. Okay, sorry. Pekka, thank you so much, dearest Amba. I'll join the hangout when I have better time. Okay, thank you, Pekka. I'm very grateful that you're able to be here. So whether you're in the hangout or not, you're still here, so it's the same. Except I can't see your face. But I'm very happy to see your face. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, chapter VIII, chapter 8. Ashtavakra said, it is bondage when the mind desires anything, when it grieves over anything, when it accepts, rejects, or feels joy or anger in relation to anything whatsoever. It is release. Are you gone?
Huh?
Are you gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It is release when the mind neither desires nor grieves. It is neither angry nor joyful, neither accepts nor rejects anything.
Amba, your sound is gone. Your sound disappeared, Amba.
I see. Sorry, I just read a whole chapter in silence. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll read it later. Thanks, Ryan. Okay, chapter 8. Ashtavakra said, it is bondage when the mind desires anything, when it grieves over anything, when it accepts, rejects, or feels joy or anger in relation to anything whatsoever. It is release when the mind neither desires nor grieves. It is neither angry nor joyful, neither accepts nor rejects anything. It is bondage when the mind is attached to any sense perception. It is liberation when it is not so attached. Where there is I, there is bondage. Where there is no I, there is release. Know this to be the truth, and neither reject nor accept anything. Okay, so I'm just going to read this last chapter, chapter 9. Ashtavakra said, duties discharged and undischarged, or the pairs of opposites, when duties discharged and undischarged, or the pairs of opposites, when do these cease and for whom? Realizing this, cultivate inner renunciation and passionlessness. O my child, that blessed one is indeed rare, who has extinguished the passion for life, enjoyment, and even learning, by observing the ways of men. The wise become tranquil on releasing that all objects of the world are subject to the threefold misery, that they are transient and of no actual, positive reality, and should be rejected at all times. There is no time and no age in which men are free from the pairs of opposites. He who disregards them, content with whatever comes, obtains perfection. What man is there who, having observed the diversity of opinion among the great sages, saints, and yogis, does not become indifferent to learning and attain peace? He is a true spiritual guide, who has obtained knowledge of the nature of reality through indifference to the world, equanimity, and reasoning, and who is animated by a desire to enlighten others. In the modifications of the elements, See nothing but matter itself. Thus attain freedom from bondage, and rest in thine own nature. Renounce desire through inherent detachment. Renounce the objects of the world, and renunciation of desire will follow. Thereafter, live wherever thou pleasest. So that's all that I'm going to read for today. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and listening. I'm very grateful. And thank you, Soham, for joining the hangout. It's very nice to have your sweet face together.
Good to be here.
Thank you. I can't hear you anymore. Oh, wait. Wait, no. Sorry, I'm being really silly. I have to plug my earphones into my ears.
That's okay. I'm speaking softly. Can you hear now?
I can hear now.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm very, very grateful to our beloved Master Niti and Anantaji. Thank you. So I'm going to sing a song. It might be only half a song because I don't know if I actually know the song or not. But I was singing it in my mind. So. Okay. Om Bhagavan Sri Bhagavan Om Bhagavan Sri Bhagavan Ananda Bhagavan Satchidananda Bhagavan La 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 Satchidananda Bhagavan. So that's all. I don't really know the words. Thank you, Soham. Thank you to all of you who are watching this. Thank you. Bye.